everybody. Welcome back to Tavian's World of Reptiles. I hope you all are having a fantastic day. Today we are joined by Rumpelstiltskin. He's hanging out with us because, well, I'm talking about him today, and it's very rude to talk about somebody when they're not present. So, he is present. Today I am a pretty proud daddy because I've come to realize recently that my little big boy is growing up, and he is becoming a fine and strong and healthy young man who has needs. The other day I was letting my snakes roam, and Type was out, and Cruella was out, Rumpelstiltskin here was out, and Artemis was out as well, just hanging out. Well, she was inside of her enclosure. She does not roam very far. And Rumpelstiltskin had made his way over there, and they were hanging out. And I realized that he was not really leaving her. She didn't seem to be paying any attention to him, but he just kept seeming to roll on top of her. He kept sliding over the top of her, like going back and forth around her coils. And I got closer because I was like, "What are you doing, Rumple? Are you doing what I think you're trying to do?" And sure enough, I got up close, and he was tickling her with his little spurs, trying to entice her to mate. Now, I was like, "Oh wow, that's cool. You're a big boy now. It is that time." It is official that Rumpelstiltskin is ready to breed, or would like to breed. Whether he is ready to breed or not, size wise, I don't know nothing about it. I have no intentions of breeding boas in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, I shared this on a Facebook group. I shared a picture, this picture, and then I shared the story of just like them being together and me witnessing that for the very first time, and it came down immediately. I immediately took it down because I immediately got stuff from people like, well, if you don't want to breed boas, why would you put them together? Why would you let them get together if that's not what you want to do? Irresponsibility, blah 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 blah. So I immediately took it down. I didn't address those comments, but I put out a different post later to address it because people don't tend to read on those things. They'll just keep repeating the same thing over and over. So even if I had explained myself in the comments, people wouldn't have read it. They'd just keep repeating themselves, and I just didn't care to deal with it. So I decided to just take it down and then explain myself in a different post. But up until this point, these two had never come into contact with each other. Yes, they have free roamed at the same time before, but for whatever reasons, they just did not come into contact with each other. Obviously, up until most recently, Rumpelstiltskin had paid little to no attention to her or any of my other female boas when they were out together. So this was the very first time they actually had interaction with each other. So there was that. I didn't just like let this continue to happen regularly because this is the very first time they actually came in contact with each other, and the very first time that I've seen him display signs of being ready to breed. Now, that being said, why did I take time to take pictures of it? Why did I take time to observe it instead of acting immediately? Well, because this is the very first time I've ever been able to actually witness something like this. I have never been able to actually see what the courtship is like for snakes when they're, in the mood for breeding, and I thought I would take the time to observe that and not act too quickly because I wasn't worried about it. Rumpelstiltskin's tail was nowhere near her. It was just like tickling up the upper part of her body, like no closer to her neck and nowhere even near her tail. So I had time to sit there and observe that, and I don't apologize for taking the time to observe that because I was fully aware of the situation. I knew what I needed to look out for when it came to actual breeding. I knew that it was okay and that I could intervene before anything even happened. So I took time to observe it. I took time to take a picture. I wasn't concerned about it, but I did get to see that. So I just wanted to explain it to you guys, just like I explained to people on the Facebook groups. Even though I know I don't have to explain myself as much to you all. For the most part, you get it. You understand. You follow my Facebook groups. You can follow me here. If you follow some of you follow me on Facebook, some of you follow me on Instagram. Either way, you know that I'm not going to irresponsibly have a litter of boas because I'm just going to deliberately put these two together. I now know that he is in that space, so I will not allow them to continue to have interactions with one another. That night, it was a whole game of just constantly picking him up and taking him away because he just kept working his way back towards her. And eventually I just had to close her doors, which, by the way, I did get her doors fixed, so she does have two doors on her enclosure now and is no longer in her tub, so that is good news for Artemis. But yeah, so I just wanted to share that I am a proud daddy. My little boy is growing up. He would like to breed. I'm not ready for him to breed. I'm not prepared for baby boas. I don't have rack systems. I don't have any of that. I wish, I mean, it seems like it would just be so easy with how willing he was to just go in there and start with her. If she just was felt more comfortable, I'm pretty sure it was really my presence that just stopped her from being like, hey, okay, let's do that. Because she's reasonably shy when I'm around. She doesn't get very active until I leave the room. And then she's like, okay, I'll go out and I'll roam. But for the most part, like, she's really shy, and I'm sure that if she had had more privacy, I wonder if she would have like been more willing to participate in that. But like I said, I'm not ready for baby boas. I don't have the resources to do baby boas right now. Like, so I'm not going to do that. Like, if the whole if a miracle happened and I got a free rack system and free rats and all that, then maybe I'm like, well, go ahead, sure, I can give it a shot. Why not? But it still will need some preparation. I know, at least I don't know. Maybe I don't. Maybe I would. I feel like he's not to size for breeding. I feel like it's a risk. I don't know if I would want to take that with him. I'm not sure. I know that females have to be at a certain size, and I'm not worried about Artemis. She's huge. She's beyond size, I'm sure. She's actually lost a lot of weight, but at the same time, like, I don't know if males have to be at a certain size. I don't know anything about boa breeding, so therefore I'm not intending to do any type of boa breeding. So I was fully aware of what I was doing when I got to witness that, when I observed and realized what was happening. I did allow myself to take a few moments to just watch and let it happen so that I could just see what that looked like. I never got to see the spurs moving in person, so I got to watch it. I got to see how he just kept following her around, and just, it was nice to see the courtship happen. And and then I intervened before it even became close to being something that could have turned into me having an unexpected litter of boas. So, yeah, I just want to share that with you guys. This is Rumpelstiltskin. We're going to check out. Happy Sunday to you all. Love yourselves, love your reptiles, love your loved ones, and you guys keep spreading those herbs.